Hey everybody, welcome back to Cultist Simulator, and welcome to the new look Mirror of Glory. So if you watched last episode, I started up the Priest Legacy, and a lot of the early game was very similar to what we'd done in the past. So what I've done is played off camera to kind of get us caught up to where we've been in previous runs, and boy oh boy, do we have some stuff to talk about. So this is the new look Mirror of Glory. I had talked about kind of going through and getting to the Shire level expeditions, which is basically where we're at. Now, what's a little different is how I got here. So I was super slow and meticulous. One of the things that I think in previous runs has derailed me is that I've kind of gotten ahead of myself. So I wanted to take this as slow as I could. Doing it off camera helped because I didn't feel kind of the pressure to keep things moving all the time. I played it at a much more chilled out pace. And there's some really good things that have come from doing that. So first and foremost, our priest, the star of this legacy. I didn't name him in the entire intro episode like a dummy. This is Father Matheson, who has stumbled upon this very unconventional church and has now become the leader of the Mirror of Glory. Now, kind of the most significant difference in this run versus others, I think, is how early I wound up working with patrons. So first of all, Popula Sales, who I have avoided in previous runs because of the weird requests she makes when she starts her relationship with you. I had some throwaways, right? With the church, I can kind of recruit temporary cultists. She did in fact want a blood sacrifice, so my intuition was right. We fed her one, and then she just turns into a normal patron. So I have like a steady flow of patron contracts, which, as you can see, has led to an absurd amount of funding. I'm sitting on 29 in funding. I have a ridiculous amount of spinetria that I just don't even spend, because why liquidate it when I can use it for other things in the unseen world? So money wise, flush. Because of all that money, totally bought out Moorlands. There's nothing left at Oriflames. When I go and try and buy something, I just get the stupid deep something deep, like the book that tells you that there's nothing else available. So that stuff handled. Again, because money was not really a concern, I was able to focus on skills. We have a silly amount of skill improvement. All three of the skills are capped. I have a flawless physique, open soul, and rarefied mind. So those are all handled. And then something else that's really fun, the cultists. I had kind of assumed from previous run-throughs that there were 3 of each cultist. So obviously Secret Histories has none, but the other aspects, I figured we were going to see 3 of each. It has a cap, so I don't know if that's randomly decided as a seed for each like playthrough. But these are all the cultists I'm able to meet. If I try and recruit acquaintances at this point, I just get a thing saying that it was like case of mistaken identity and that there's no one left interesting to meet. I also was able to paint a masterpiece based on the lantern aspect. The door in the eye, he came from the glory we cannot help but see. And with that masterpiece, I had enough lantern aspect to promote a lantern follower to the next, I guess, probably final level, a seer. So this is kind of when I decided, like, whoa, okay, I'd better stop and start recording again. Clifton now has 10 lantern aspect. Clifton still recites his prayers, but they are grown strange as old mirrors. He rises every morning to greet the dawn. He looks it full in the face and tells you exactly what he sees. So I'm pretty hyped because we're in a good spot. I don't have a hunter at the moment. Like I do have a hunter and he's working on evidence. Yeah, but we don't have like active evidence out. So things are looking pretty good. We're going to continue kind of pumping through expeditions. And I'm going to keep recruiting folks. I don't think we can recruit anyone who isn't already a lantern aspect, because they just won't have enough lantern aspect to meet the requirements. But yeah, so that kind of gets you caught up to where we're at. So we're going to upgrade some of our other friends here. So Slee can become a seer. We'll get that set. I don't really have anything that I'm working on study wise right now. I do have some commissions to do. But honestly, like, I don't know how much I care about them, given the fact that we're already like swimming in resources. Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do is focus on dreaming and expeditions and just generally kind of bulking up. Hope you guys are having a good time. Hope it's been a good day for you. Thanks so much with your patience while I kind of figured out how I was going to handle going forward in this series. I've got some dreads that I don't love. Gladwin Lake. All right, so let's see. I believe I finished all of, yes, I finished all of the early ones, so we can do one of these. Keglin Scratch. Here the Romans dug for silver until they reached the unsanctioned space where the names hid things not fit for sunlight. Many others have come since then. Even as the tunnels crumble, some have never left. I can't remember which of the Shire's expeditions I have read and which I have not. See, like, dude, she's not even upgraded and I get to 15 lantern with them. I think instead, though, I will send the hint. I do have a hint on loan. And then funding. Something else that I kind of learned from play that's helped me a ton is upgrading the lore. I didn't realize that if I checked in its aspects, it tells me what I need to upgrade it. I think this is a big part of what I was missing when I first started kind of getting back into this game. And honestly, when I played it through the first time, is just really paying attention to the aspect components of everything on the table, because often they tell you more of a story than just reading the text well. So hopefully this expedition yields some more books. With work pretty well handled, books are the big get right now, because it would really behoove me to be able to do some more researching, and I might as well work with something or other just as a way to keep that verb available. Let me see what we have. So we have treacherous ground. We've already sent a ton of lanterns, so that won't be an issue. The fretful dead, so we can send edge or winter. We have more edge on the board, so let's send Victor here to supplement our hint. Get my health back from that. All right, so now Slee has been upgraded. Slee speaks exclusively in mathematics and in poetry. Both are compelling. It is increasingly difficult to tell the difference. That's outstanding. Was Slee always so gaunt? I feel like maybe his visuals have changed too. That might just be that I haven't taken a close look in a while. And then Cat Caro is also going to join us as a seer. Yeah, it was really unexpected. I was playing and upgrading and poof, got a little achievement knock up and realized, like, oh goodness, I have progressed quite a bit further in a shorter amount of time than I had planned. Evidence on the board, I'm not going to screw around with because that's what burnt me last time. So we are going to go right to work trying to get that out of here. We'll see if we can have Isabet handle it once our talk verb is available. We call upon the watchman who navigates. I can't assume that this is going to take more than 18 lantern, but like, what the hell? Why not really lock that up? There may be also, I'd never really entertained it before, but there might be a failure condition regardless of how much aspect you have put in. That I don't know. I don't know the underlying math. I should ask Slee, actually. Keep trying to drink my coffee and then something pops up. All right. Just gonna keep doing this just as something. I hate seeing it sit dormant. It makes me frustrated. I should dream. I'm still trying to figure out the next thing to do in the Mansis. So that's something I'm still trying to puzzle through. Oh, I repaused it after pausing it. I suppose we could try some more rites. I do have quite a bit of fairly high level lore at this point. Safe across treacherous ground. All right, cool. And then what I'm going to do is the next time it's available to ask for something. Holy shit, really? Back to back with the detective? That's garbage. All right. So Cat Caro is now also upgraded. Archaeologists find treasures in tombs. Farmers bring harvest from the fields. What does Cat Caro unearth in dreams? That's very cool. All right, so what I want to do is send Isabet as my only upgraded moth. This is how weird things kind of spiraled. Look, like I still have believers instead of disciples, because I was just able to gather so much lantern so quickly that I was focused on that. So we want Isabet to take care of this evidence, and hopefully I have notoriety and dread on the table. Hopefully he's busy pulling notoriety and doesn't have a chance to take this evidence before she's done away with it. And obviously, hopefully she does away with it. I gotta hope on that too. I gotta go sell this Greek textbook. I do also, I stumbled into most of the knowledges that I'm aware of. All right, so work verb is clear. Do I want to try and do anything? No, not while I've got the detective already breathing down my neck. We are gonna send another edge aspect out just in case he's... Damn it, he took the evidence instead of taking the other notoriety. Snatched it out from under me. Ooh, well, that could come in handy. I don't think the timing will be good, but we could always paint it. Try and find a way to freeze the timer on that, maybe. Our strength is matchless. I should hope so. We've put quite a bit into this expedition. I still have money, so that's fine. All right. Let's see here. Did you upgrade it? You did. You son of a bitch. That was really fast to go from no evidence to damning evidence. All right. Hopefully we don't pull too many scars trying to rid ourselves of this evidence. When the dead return to us, they use what matter they can if their bodies are gone. Dust, rust, cobwebs, scraps, and tatters. Now that we have broken them, these tatters are all that remain. Let me lower the volume just a touch. I upped it when I was recording solo, and it feels a little loud in the mix right now while I'm recording. Yeah, there we go. Let me try that. All right, so what else are we gonna get up to? Let's keep dreaming, because I do know that we're gonna want some more resources. I don't really need to worry that much about secret histories to uncover more locations, I don't think. I want books. That's what I want. A higher level knock lore would be really good, because I think knock I don't have any of the tools and trimmings, so using the rights is difficult, because if I'm doing summons, I want knock lore, and I just like never have it. Treasure lies before us. All right. So expedition locked down. Let's see if Isbet has taken care of things for us. I await news. I suppose we should probably do a sermon. I haven't done one of those in a bit. Stumbling, mumbling, and clumsily bandaged. Shoot, shoot, shoot. All right, so that was unsuccessful. I'm gonna patch Isbet up and have her just immediately dive in and try again. I don't want to take the time to upgrade Porter or Sylvia, and potentially miss out on an opportunity to get it done before he comes knocking again. Got some fascination, so I can get rid of this dread. I suppose I could have done that with the contentment anyway, but this knocks out two things I don't want sticking around. What else could I do? I wonder if we could channel a moth something. So wait, hang on. Which one of these is the one that I have all the stuff I need? An offering. Lantern. So I want to do invocation. Moth is the wild and perilous aspect of chaos and yearning. If I add knock, I might be able to attempt a summoning. If I add edge, I can try to drown my reason in passion. So let's see. Victim. Ooh. This I don't think is the one I want. Yeah, okay, so. Invocation is moth. Offering. I don't know that we have an offering that'll get us knock. I have to find a knock like influence. And I don't have a knock tool, so that makes this really hard. All right, I could sacrifice knock lore, but that's not really what I'm about. And then the sunset rite again requires an offering. But this one lets me use an assistant. So if we upgraded Enid or Neville, I wonder if that would be enough. Okay, hang on. We're gonna try a couple things. Oh wait, I also have a I have a moth pigment. So hang on, can I do the same thing I did? So my inspiration will use that high level moth lore. And then I'm going to use the moth pigment and see if we can't get ourselves a moth painting. That might be able to be used as an instrument. The air is stale and dust sifts worryingly down from the rock above, but the dead lie still. This chamber, with its chalked figures and ancient stains, looks promising. In a lead-lined sarcophagus lies the skeleton of a woman. She wasn't buried here. It looks like she crawled in to die. Something has happened to the shape of her skull, pushing out the jaw like the muzzle of a beast. Scraps of rotting linen sway their bones. Treasures lie among the remains of her clutching hands, between her ribs. Okay, Spintria. All right. So what do we got here? We've got cracked mirror. We've got a decently high level edge weapon. So that's nice. But nothing to study. Kind of a bummer. That's really what I was going for there. Let me, real quick before we start another expedition, let me sell off that book just so it's out of my hair. And then what am I looking to do here? Well, we know we're healing Isbet. Isbet? I don't know how to say her name correctly. paints. We want the moth pigments. My hope is that that'll yield me something that I can use to summon a moth-based outsider, and maybe use that to do away with our evidence. I gotta just pause if I'm gonna drink coffee. I keep picking it up, but I'm never gonna drink it. All right, so she's healed. What's her wounds? Winter. Not horrific. Not perfect. Instead of letting that sit sit doing nothing dormant while we're waiting, let us upgrade one of the other moths. I need that moth lore to do it. No, I don't. Wait, I use lantern lore. Get out of here. Oh, sweet, my 1 gold piece. And then I suppose we'll just start in on another expedition. No, before that, hang on, let me find another expedition location. We want books. I suppose there's no harm in me repeatedly doing this too while we wait to see if I can't stockpile some more favors from authority. They're just gonna hand them out like candy out there in Mansus. All right, this hopefully yielded a sweet ass painting. Finished. Something unique. Yes. Okay, cool. So we have succeeded in creating our tool. Ooh, and a moth influence. I really wanted, if I'm honest, I would have preferred knock influence. The moth. In the forests of the first continent, our ancestors cursed themselves with their own god. That's intense. All right, so offering instrument. Yes. Okay, so now we can use this as our instrument. We can use this as our invocation. If I add Grail, I might contact something shapeless. So I need a Grail influence if we go with this one. Does any of this have Grail? Assumingly not. So let me try something different. Victim I don't want to worry about just yet. Sacrifice is not how I want to handle it. So what if we tried to get the moth we need from the invocation? No, here's how I want to do it. With some winter aspect, a little moth, and a corpse, I might create a cunning servant. Jesus. We want to add knock. It's not enough to do it that way. So what if instead I add Grail? Okay, but you only have 2. I found a useful conjunction of aspects, but I need more power to call forth this monstrous, if affectionate entity. I need a significant intensity of Grail and a little moth and knock. So that actually doesn't necessarily sound like what I want. But let's see. Is there a different combination of the way I can do this? So if we need significant Grail, if our offering was moth, our invocation was knock, and then our instrument, yeah, still not quite enough because that's a lower level Grail item. Shoot. All right. It was worth a thought, but we're going to have to sit on that for a moment. I suppose we can also look into doing more painting for some of the other categories in which I have the correct pigments. Once this talk verb is free, I'll probably try again, but not with Isabet, just to avoid additional scarring. And we're going to start the next expedition. Some restlessness for my trouble for dealing with moth. Kind of assume. All right, so Sylvia is upgraded. Sylvia's favorite tactic is to smile and close her eye. It is remarkable how often her interocular will blurt out exactly what they're thinking. Her interlocutor? Man, I can start reading this with a thesaurus. My hint is running out of time, so we're gonna definitely start the next expedition kind of lickety split. Sylvia does not have any wounds, so let's send Sylvia after this. All right, so that found me the Lockwood Fen. Let's head to the lake. We're gonna send the hint right away to keep them kind of under our servitude. And let's send old Clifton. Why not? Old reliable. So an icy atmosphere is 6 winter influence. I gotta start working with these influences to see if I can't figure out better ways to put them to use. A glimmering, not really anything I'm super interested in. That's all right. Let's do a sermon just to kind of keep the flock heavy, you know. Let's preach about our lantern. Give them the real business. Oop, not what I wanted, not what I wanted. Damn it, the detective is back again. This is unbelievable. All right, so wait, hang on. How do I preserve you? Shoot, I didn't think this through. Our expedition plans for the next challenge. It'll consume funds. All right, what are our challenges, please? Younger sister. The mother of ants was born among serpents. She has so very many younger sisters. It can be defeated in battle, or it will respond to the mother's power. All right. Well, I don't remember which one the mother of ants is, and we're already loaded up with some edge, so let's get at it. Take all the notoriety I have before you even touch this evidence, please, weary detective. I can't stand to think of you in a mere half hour derailing everything we've built here. I wish I could just feed him favor from authority, like as a consumable to him. Our strength is matchless. Well, if you think it was matchless before, you just wait till I send Rose in. I'll show you matchless strength. Oh, she's done it. Sylvia, you're the best. All right, detective can do whatever the hell he wants now. I'm not worried about it for a little while longer. Okay, so that's great news. So now that that's handled, let's start the upgrade train. Yeah, let's start getting some people set up. Congregation is loving things. They love life. I have a fervor. I wasn't gonna do 2 because I'm trying to not stack up a ton of reason. Well, I guess with the evidence gone, it's not as big a deal. So we can give the people what they want. Yeah, I'm not gonna take restlessness, thanks. I'll take a Forgotten Chronicle. I'm sure there's stuff I could be doing. So like, this is kind of the downside of me having gone as hard as I have to get the board set up in my favor early, is now I have so much kind of dead time while I wait for things. I'm not multitasking as fluidly because there's not as many things to do, or the things I have to do are all kind of on the same verb. So I'm sure there's something I could be doing that is just beyond my scope of understanding in the game, but it's definitely kind of created a little bit of a logjam as I wait for more resources. Treasure lies before us. The serpent rolls and roars. Its death throes shake the earth, but it's dying. We will pass. Wonderful. I suppose I could start upgrading more lore too, like if I'm just letting the study verb sit dormant. Practical experimentation and intuition. We can do that. All right. Upgrade for Porter. We will read him in a moment. Porter goes unnoticed until he is ready. And then let me do a physical labor work because we know we're going to need to cure our affliction here. There are ruins beneath the water, just beneath, at waiting depth. The lake has risen a little in all these years, but not enough to keep us out. There we go. I got all 5 verbs. See, what am I talking about? We're good. The verbs are in use. Destroying that first batch of evidence makes me feel good, but I can't sit on my laurels. We do need to make sure we're burning it when it's tentative evidence, because I'm sure that has a better chance of success. Jesus, lantern. The chapel crypt is flooded and the water soupy with old corpse matter, but at least we bring up a wax sealed coffer. 18th century? No, older than that. Let's see what's within. Books. Yes. And witch-kissed oil. All right, so we're going to start the next expedition right away, so that we can still use our hints. So this is Lockwood Fen. The reeking murk of the fenlands is ripe with furtive smell. Taciturn locals still watch the sacred places of the small and secret gods, the ones that answer prayers. Send our traditional starting salvo. And then let's read this stuff. So Witched Kiss oil is the heart pigment. The formula remains unchanged since the days of Hecate was worshipped at the crossways. Wait, so are you not the heart pigment? This is just a better heart pigment? Oh, it's not a pigment. It's the higher order ingredient tool. I see. Okay, so this is just the 8th level, and then we've got a couple books in Latin, it looks like. All right, so we will get those translated and studied here when we are done upgrading lore. I gotta figure out the next stage in Mansis. I feel like that's probably my next big hurdle. Maybe I should double check what we can dream with without just cramming the next door in. Intuition. So fortunately for us, our hideout lets us solve that. Sylvia, would you like to take another crack at some evidence? Make a name for yourself with that as your specialty, perhaps. Rare edition. Oh, what do we got? Yes, I'll take the furtive truth. All right, you win. So we've got treacherous ground, which our lantern should absolutely smoke, and then we've got watchers, which we're gonna want to get through with edge. So let's start loading up the edge boys, and then we got to get rid of this affliction before we do anything else with dream. And then work-wise, you're the pigment, not the tool. So should we paint with you? Is it really that easy to get a high level tool? so we're gonna give you edge as your inspiration, and then we're gonna apply the edge pigment, because like it's not a small amount that they're worth aspect wise. I don't know if that's enough though. That was 12. I don't know how high an aspect number I have to hit for it to like make the specialty painting. All right, so we're still gonna have enough time to add another edge, so let's go ahead like we've been doing and absolutely lock down that lantern check. Gonna have to find a new location after this one, so I think we're gonna lose the help of our hint. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to summon another hint. And then this is a puzzle missing pieces. I might find those pieces in odd corners of scholarship. Risk your health or use a prisoner. Well, we don't have any prisoners, so I'm going in. What we got? You keep fleeting reminiscence. I have a decent amount of dread on the board. We're gonna have to handle that. Sylvia, you're an animal. I love it. Okay, so Sylvia's taking care of business. Let us keep doing the upgrade thing. Yeah, so look, Colonel and Lionsmith, since since Issus have they striven so. That's awesome. Ooh, and it gave me a rousing air as a level 6 edge influence. Okay, so wait, again, maybe we can try some summons here with that. So if I add that, I add knock, I might be able to add a summoning. If I add lantern or moth, I could act a battle of my own soul. As above, so below, reason and passion contend in the human soul. As the glory lights the darkness of the wood, this mystic discipline will transform passion into reason. Oh, okay, so yeah, that I'm not super interested in. So add you. See, I need a better knock lore. That's the big thing holding me back. If I had lantern or heart or winter. Okay, so if we had lantern, so that'll let us resummon our hint. So that's definitely a possibility. Heart, that won't work as an instrument. Interesting. Summon a creature of the Thunderskin. I found a useful conjunction of aspects, but okay, so that one's, the issue is still not enough. And then winter, summon a servant of the sun in rags. A deep winter's cold to name and draw. Wait, a deep winter's cold to name and draw the maid in the mirror. Edge to match her keen cruelty. Interesting. So I'm tempted to summon another hint just because they play into our strengths. But we don't really need them for the lantern. We want them for the edge, and this sounds like it's going to give me edge for a maid in the mirror. Plus it's a new summon, right? So like, why don't we do this one to check what this is all about? So this is the, what is it? The map's edge is a good one if I have influence sitting around. That's a good way to put those to use. This poor weary detective, he's just like, he's got to be so frustrated, just racking up all this evidence only to find out that like the files have gone missing, or the clerk that he submitted to no longer works at the constabulary. All right, so the watchers are what's left. So we want to add more edge. Taking care of it. I may start playing on fast forward. I do that a lot when I'm not recording, but when I'm recording, it's obviously a little harder for me to keep everything straight and provide commentary if it's in fast forward. So we'll see. At times I really want to do it because I'm so eager to see like the next thing that's going to happen, but it doesn't always benefit my play style. Why not? Let's just completely overwhelm them. Savage efficient force. Let's see. Not what I want. We want to keep upgrading. Sweet Eclair. This version of Eclair not nearly as damaged as the one in the previous game with a Spartac's version of the Mirror of Glory, so good to see that she got some help. Yes, it's so they dangle like a guaranteed benefit in my face and I have a hard time saying no. I think that's one of the more frustrating things about the Mantis gameplay loop is like, especially early, right? Like I'm thinking Way of the Wood, first playthrough, you don't understand how half the cards work. I mean, I still don't understand how half the cards work. So I guess then you would understand how maybe a tenth of the cards work. Like you just don't know if the thing that's already face up when you're in the Mantis is worth it. Ooh, what is this one? The summoning is struggling against my control. I could use reason to dismiss it safely, which is always reliable. I could try to reassert control with passion, which is not reliable. Or I could let what will happen happen. I mean, how not reliable are we talking? The things from outside the world have many weapons, knives and riddles, fire and despair. I have weapons of my own. This usually, but not always, will work. Glad I saw that in time. Mastery regained. Okay, we did it. Interesting. I might have had to do that with a hint at one point. I don't recall. My summoning will obey my wishes for now. All right, so this is our maid in the mirror. The ascent is glass. The walls are knives. Each step is blood. The dead who rest before a new cracked mirror, who pass through the peacock gate, who master the sharp stare, those dead enter the service of the sun in rags. Yo, so you are a... This breaks free, may assault you or consume your followers. That's not ideal. You're a level 10 edge lamp of loss. If I speak to this one, I could offer it my passion. Level 10 winter. Holy goodness. All right, well, you're kind of an intense cat, maid in the mirror. I might plug in the dialogue option for offering it passion. The lore unceasing. I've increased my mastery of the lore unceasing, which we call by its aspect art, but I hurt myself in the process, it looks like. That's no bueno. All right, so you're a newly upgraded level 8, so we have a little bit better heart lore. I need to rest and nourishment if I am to recover. So this we can just fix with vitality, right? It's just like an affliction. So let us do the old work to gain a vitality. And we can start translating some books too. You're on your way out. Yes. Treasure lies before us. Love to see it. You know what? I'm going to add you into the mix just to continue chilling out your timer. Especially with the ominous "you might eat me" going on. Not a big fan of that. keep upgrading our believers. Yeah, so like this is a level 6 winter influence. We could use this. So I could just use the Mantis to kind of reliably generate the tools I need for at least like Made in the Mirror. Another Forgotten Chronicle. At least that'll be good. And then I'll probably use the Made in the Mirror and the talk verb while I'm finding my next location, both to check out what that talk verb's all about, and then also because it'll allow me to stop the timer. The Ringyu's Shrine. Here on a flat rock, inches above the marsh water, is a throne carved of yew wood, ripe with fungus, ornamented with tarnished copper. This is the shrine we seek. I think stylistically, like I like that the table kind of slants so it looks like a table you're laying stuff out onto. But man, there are times where I wish that it was just flat so that I would have kind of better visuals on the stuff up here. The way I play with the verbs up top is probably backwards, I'm realizing, where if I had them close, I wouldn't have the text boxes so tiny up there. But at this point, my muscle memory is such that I cannot imagine changing it back. What do I want to do with my work verb? Nothing right now. I think we're okay. You want to fix this. Drives me crazy. All right, so there is one translated book. There's another translated book. Then we'll do some studying. What do we got? Apple green paint marks ritual circles on the rock. The remains of sacrifices past squelch beneath our feet as we search the shrine. In a little hollow in the throne rests an oiled bundle of treasures. So let us see what we got. Icon of St. Agnes could be big, because if that's Knocklore, we're in business. We got the Winged Doll, level 4 moth tool. In an attic above a skeleton house, there was a window. Beside the window, there was a box. In the box, there was a bandage. In the bandage was a twist of clotted hair. In the hair was wound a doll, because the window had never been opened. More Vital Pigment. Blade Tantra. That's something I think I've had before too. Yeah, so this is a level 4 knock tool. Saint Agnes of Bohemia was renowned for her pious dedication to the mortification of the flesh. This icon makes for grisly viewing. So that might help us get... I don't think so though, because 4 is no better than 6, and oftentimes I don't have enough with 6. The knock lore continuing to be difficult. Oh, our hint is still active too. Furtive truth. Get that studied. And we'll check in with our Made in the Mirror. Not everything from the Mantis can speak. Okay, so if I talk to you, I can offer it my passion. If I listen closely enough to the stories told by Winter Sun, I may learn something at the cost of my soul's withering. This will teach the Ecdesiast's parable, but will convert passion to decrepitude, although even that might open a narrow door. What is an Ecdesiast parable? I think that's one of the lore levels, but I don't want to lose passion for that. Convert passion to decrepitude, although even that might open a narrow door. I don't know how much I love that. I don't have any decrepitude, so that would give me access to a new card that I know nothing about, but I would lose a passion. I can't earn more passion, and that would leave me in a position where I need all passions active to paint with full passion. Oh, I don't love that. But I mean, exploration is how this game works. Decrepitude. Although even that might open a narrow door. I think I'm going to do it. I don't need the passion for recruiting anymore. And it would just mean that, like, I don't paint unless all 4 of them are available. So I don't think it's that big a loss. He said, hopeful. We'll see how that goes. This might be a famous last words kind of a scenario. My hint is going to disappear. I suppose I could just summon another hint. Like, what's to stop me from having multiple dudes kind of out and about? Although having multiple things that devour is maybe not ideal. I don't need a hint because we've got so much lantern lore right now. Or so much lantern aspect from our lantern followers that it would be for the edge side, and we're going to get edge from the Maid in the Mirror. So, like, we don't need to be messing about with the forces of the Mansis unless we need them. Speaking of which, Blade Tantra is in what? Sanskrit? Yeah, okay. Oh, I didn't read these before they were... Shoot, I didn't read them before they were translated. I don't think it offers much more that you don't get once the translation is in effect, though, if I'm honest. I will read Flayed Tantra first. This Tantra is recorded as being spoken by an enigmatic individual identified as Peel, with many of the qualities of the mythological Naga. The Flayed Tantra played a notable part in Alexander Sparrow's paranoid pamphleteering. All right, get that translated, and then we will get back in the business of actually learning from them. Oh, interesting. So when it disappeared from my world, it left behind a simple influence of Lantern, which feasibly we could have used to then summon him again. I know this is going to take off some of the time from Maid in the Mirror, but we might as well take advantage of that 10-second overlap to try and explore another place, because that way I can just start cranking more and more expeditions out. A bitter atmosphere. Jesus, so that gave me a 10th level winter influence. A gathering knot of power and peril. It can be used, blah, blah, turns into dread. Okay. It is one that I've seen before. It's the level 6 moth lore. So that was wildly not worth it. Untreated injuries and hunger become decrepitude, which does not return to health. Decrepitude remains until you die. So, lesson learned. That was wildly, wildly a bad trade. Brain or heart or hand or eye, most of us are born with. Yeah. Bummer. Not a great trade there, I'm afraid. Can we just talk to you about nothing important and use you as a way to, like, stop the timer on stuff? Because if that's the case, we might discover a whole bunch. On a crumbling cliff above a gray sea, the Gwere Inn squats until the day the sea comes for it. It receives few guests, fewer since the owner closed his notorious library to visiting scholars. What I might do is keep cycling the Maid in the Mirror into the talk verb here, while I explore the rest of the Shire locales, and we'll kind of just chill our heels for a minute or two. Another favor from authority. So you can I shouldn't say reliably. You have a decent chance of pulling one of those from Way of the White Door, which means evidence isn't quite as concerning when you know that. All right, so let's read some books. Those indignities perpetrated by the deceitful fraternity of Obliviots. It is not clear whether Crod, who is identified only by his initials, was in fact an initiate of the Obliviate Order of the Immortal Adepts. He wrote in the 16th century, after the order, if he is to be believed, had passed the height of its power. Do we have a dread on the board? We don't. Definitely cannot afford to be losing more stats, so we'll go ahead and fix you. Crocus Hill. I'll probably just explore until I get the Shire expedition that's like, hey, this is the last of the ones in the Shire. And then we can just kind of roll through them. Yeah, so did that? It didn't. That's beautiful. Okay, so hold up. Just randomly chatting about level 20 winter aspect. That's just normal parlor chat, really. All right, so this restlessness and fascination can wind up working together here to eliminate one another. I don't know that, like, it doesn't seem like there's any concern of these guys if I never come back and do their commissions. That's the only reason I'm not really doing anything with them. I should fix this mirror. It'll be good to have books rolling in again. I think we're going to do Guire Inn next because I think that one is a heavy library-based one. Now I share the right that the order used to summon a Caligine spirit. In clear defiance of the Lethean traditions, they did not offer Knocklore with a winter initiate and a Malleus imperative, but rather Winterlore with a Knock initiate and the Malleus. It is not to be born. All right, so we got Rite of the Watchman's Sorrow, which we already had. But we also got a level 6 Winterlore. Oh, I already had that too. Oh, but that leaves me in a situation where we can get that pumped up to level 8, so that's not bad. The Orchid Transfigurations Volume 3, Noon, the third volume of the compilation of the quasi-Rosicurian allegories, supposedly by Robert Flood. This is a later English translation. I wonder... Decrepitude remains until you die. I wonder if there's a way to reverse that. Okay. Karashim is the last of them, so I actually don't need to do any more searching. Drive through the downs on the coast where the gray green land meets the Atlantic gray. Okay, so we can start cranking out expedition, like actual explorations now. So this will finish, and we're gonna be off to the races. Send you out, and then we want to send out a seer. So this gives me kind of a pretty good like starting spread, and then after the expedition starts, we can see what obstacles are in our way. Which seems like a good way to do it. I think this is probably a good spot before I dive into a handful of expeditions and the goodies they yield. Probably a good spot to stop the episode. A little bit scary, right? Like, so I had been jamming along doing this off camera, and then poof, as soon as this episode shows up, detective trouble again. I'm giving away stats to otherworldly creatures. Even when things are going good, can't keep yourself too long from staring at all the problems on the board, because they come quick and they come thick. So thank you so much for joining for more Cultist Simulator. I'm having a blast with this, so especially now that I'm kind of rolling again and not rehashing the beginning part, you will see much more content from this coming soon. If you hung out until the end, thanks so much for joining me on the journey. Thanks for being a contributing member of the Mirror of Glory. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and do all those YouTube things, like, subscribe, comment, I love getting feedback and knowing that this is something you guys are enjoying. That is half the fun for me. So if you like and comment, I will be sure to reply to you. If you like what I do here on the YouTube channel for Cultist Simulator, do realize that most of what I do is actually over on Twitch. So if you check the About section down below, there's some links down there to my Twitch, ChrisVsBacklog over there, as well as some social links where you can find out my schedules and when I am going live. I'll be back with more of this real soon, so keep those reminder bells turned on and stay tuned for more Cultist Simulator. Thanks so much. I'll see you guys later.